We
are
cultivate.
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 We are cultivate.
Hello and welcome to a special mini-sode of Ye Olde Crime, the show where Maddie and I discuss the funny, strange, and obscure crimes of yesteryear every Wednesday. This special bi-weekly segment is called Can You Crack the Cramp-Word, which is slang for a difficult or obscure term, which I thought was very fitting. And joining me today are Nicole and Tessa from the Doom Generation podcast. And before we begin, I'd like to give them the opportunity to tell us a little more about themselves and their show before we get started.
Well, hello. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm Nicole.
And I'm Tessa.
And we're Doom Generation.
Yeah.
What is there to know? We're best friends. We've been best friends for 18
A long time.
years, 19?
It's like
no, but
20
more,
years.
20, because my kid turns 20 this year.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
it's 20
yeah.
years. So, all of that, we discuss movies that doomed us.
Yeah,
mostly.
movies we grew up with for the most part that doomed us. Every once in a while we let one slip that's just a popular film that we're like, it didn't doom us, but we just like this
we
movie.
just want to do
We're
it.
gonna talk about
It's
it. All comedy, almost no information.
No, well, there's
we
dubious
accidentally give facts
sometimes
and information because we have research assistants,
right,
that will give us some facts if we're in need.
That can Google it in the moment. But yeah, basically we all just get together, we hang out, and we talk about the movie that we're doing that week. And Nicole does these great photo edits.
And Tessa writes all the captions for them.
Right. So we put all those together out on our Instagram and once a week.
And just chicanery, pure chicanery.
Well, it's foolery,
yeah.
really.
I know. I love your guys' Instagram photos and how you integrate yourselves into a scene from the movie. It makes me laugh every time.
Yes. Doing those photo shoots is pretty fun on its own just because we set up the green screen.
We need to have a levitating one.
Yeah, so we're like, what movies we got coming up? So we did The Exorcist and she did the
action shots.
She did the backwards spider walk thing and I did the levitating one. So we have to have
she put us in that sword fight for Princess Bride, and it was just
we're flying through the air with swords, and honestly, those are pretty quick. I use a free app called PixArt on my phone, and I make all those on my phone in how long does it take me to do 7 for the week? Half hour?
I don't know. It depends.
Half hour to an hour.
Depends.
Depends on how crazy I want to get.
Yeah. So we put those out once a week. We update those things every day, and that's basically
once a week. We're on every Saturday.
Every Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, I was listening to your Princess Bride episode the last time I was at the gym. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was. And it was really funny because as I was listening to it, whatever channel it was actually playing Princess Bride.
Oh, wow.
As I was listening. So it was 20 minutes behind what I was listening to. It was really funny.
You knew what was coming.
Right.
I knew what was coming, and I mean that's a great movie in and of itself. So quotable, such it's chef's kiss.
I think that's our biggest challenge is when you get a movie like that that's so quotable is not spending an hour just saying the lines and doing impressions. Because it's
and then laughing at ourselves.
You gotta say because it's so funny, or
right?
And I'm like, then we're just seeing the movie. We gotta say other stuff.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned that you've been friends for 20 years.
Yeah.
How did the two of you meet?
Friend of a friend?
Yeah.
Through
friend
friends.
Of a friend, through mutual friends. And we just
hit it off.
And
ended up hanging out more together than with those mutual friends.
Right.
And here we still are.
And here we
lived together for a little while. And our husbands are now best friends.
Yep.
So worked out.
It did. It did. It's just, this is my life, mate. We've got plans
my wifey.
for retirement.
Yeah, we have plans for should our husbands die or leave us, or we should outlive them in some manner.
For some reason,
we already have a setup with us 4 girls, her and I, and the 2 that come and do our research assistant. It's called Green Gardens.
Yep,
Grey Gardens.
Yeah. So
yeah, we've already got the Golden Girls plan happening.
That's awesome. I remember reading something recently where there's a group of friends and they bought like a section of land and they each built their own like
The tiny house or whatever.
the tiny houses. Thank you.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, my brain just shut off for a second. Hard reset.
Right?
And it's like their own little neighborhood where they'll all be neighbors. And I was like,
Mhm.
that's adorable. And I also want to do that
I
with
know.
my friends.
Yeah, I would totally do that.
That's what I always said. If I ever came across like serious money, that's what
Right?
would
Mhm.
Compound time.
happen. I want to choose my own neighbors and my own little pod of people, my own little
Or just buy out a cul-de-sac.
yeah, like a
There
sister
you
wife
go.
situation
Yeah.
where you've got like the many
Yep.
houses on the cul-de-sac.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I want. That's what I want.
You don't drive cars anymore. You drive like buggies or something, you know, like the little four-wheelers everywhere or a golf
A
cart
golf
because
cart,
why not?
yes. You could
Yes.
deck them out. Dude, our golf cart would be
Oh
badass.
man,
We'd
a
have it all
golf
custom
cart, it would
painted.
look like
Yeah.
Cheech's
It would be
car,
neon.
the La Machi.
We'd have neon lights
It would
everywhere.
have
Like this
dingleberries
room. It
on
would
the
look like the
side.
room we're in. It would just be
Fuzzy
like
dice. Yeah,
yes,
no, we
fuzzy
just wrap
dice.
all the lights.
Yeah.
You see us coming.
Yep.
You'd have to. You'd
You'd have
hear
to
us
have
before you
like
see us.
a custom horn or something, you know, like it'd have to be something great. Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be like it would. Yeah, it would be La Cucaracha
Gotta
regardless.
be.
It just has
Yeah.
to be. It just has to be.
I just picture like by the time I'm able to do a tiny home, I'm gonna need one of those the elevator chairs to get me to the
Yes,
top to the
yes.
loft where my bed is.
Yep.
Because I
Mhm.
won't be able to walk up
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
the stairs
Watching the
anymore.
ladder thing. Yeah, for sure.
It's fine. I'm just gonna go in my little lift
Right. I just need a lift.
wheelchair and it'll
Or
be
like if
fine.
you could get the stairs to just change into like a conveyor belt and I could just lay
Ooh,
down
just
and it could just like
flop
put me
over.
straight onto the bed in the
Mhm.
loft
Yeah.
and then straight
Mhm.
Yeah.
down in the morning. That would be perfect.
Ooh, it's got a
It's just an
slide.
Yeah,
escalator.
it's like a slide. Yeah,
The
like an
bed just
escalator.
goes
There you
whoop.
go.
It's like a Jetsons situation where it sends you through the
Yeah.
shower and the bathroom, and it puts you in your clothes, and then it
Yes,
shoots you down to the
absolutely.
breakfast
Because
table.
otherwise I ain't getting dressed. So
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have like an assortment of like fancy kimonos.
I was
and
gonna say, yeah,
marabou,
some muumuus
but
and
Or
that's
like
it. Oh, muumuus for sure.
tracksuits, something
oh yeah,
like
some
Right,
comfortable.
something. It's all like glamour comfort
There you go.
is what
Yep.
I'm going for. Like a caftan and some turbans. I feel like is going to be the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
The
picturing. Anyway.
Mrs. Roper look is what I'm going for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Billowy.
Just gotta air it out. You
Mhm.
know?
Absolutely,
That's right.
absolutely.
So what inspired you guys to start the podcast?
Just hanging out and
Yeah, we were doing it for
making ourselves laugh and
we thought we were really funny. So
my husband already had recording stuff on hand because he's a
That's-
musician. So it was like if we would have had to probably go buy stuff to start up, we probably wouldn't have gotten that far
We had
because it would have
kind
taken
of-
research and
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And we
work
never
and
would have done
money.
that. I think we kind of like pre-pandemic had kind of floated that
Right, but
idea
it was
of
all
doing
different. It wasn't
something.
movies then. We had a
No, it
couple
was,
different
like, all
ideas before
manner.
this, but we took no strides to like accomplish
No,
it.
we
Period. It
really
was just a
didn't.
conversation, and then during the pandemic, it was like, well, shit, we
Well,
got time.
Yeah, we got time. Like she said,
Mhm.
her husband had all the equipment and was like, we have all of the things that you need in order to do it. So we're like, all right, well,
And I think we settled on movies because it's kind of an endless stream
Yeah.
of content. It's you don't even have to put
Yep.
thought into it. You just
Mhm.
go, oh, well, there's a list
I
of
just
like
gotta
500
watch a
movies
movie.
we could do that
I
we
just
grew
gotta
up
watch
with.
a movie
Yep.
I love.
Yeah, and so like the hardest part, honestly, watching the movie is the hardest
Mhm.
part only because we have to take notes. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the recording is probably our favorite part, but then the
Mhm.
listening back.
Oh, the
We're
listening
so
back is
conceited and we love ourselves so
that's
much.
definitely true. Like
And
I
we
don't
laugh
laugh at
so
anything
hard.
as hard as I laugh at us.
Yeah, listening back during editing. So that's probably when we laugh the most. That and during the B-rolls.
That
we do
too.
B-roll for Patreon
That
that's just
too.
nonsense. It's not about movies and that gets crazy, chaotic.
Yeah. So it's just fun. It's just fun to do. So
Yeah, we'll keep doing it as long as it's
so
fun.
that's why we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are the criteria for the movies that you discuss?
We have a master list that's just kind of
Right, like of things that stood out in our memory as having some sort of effect one way or another
mhm.
on our formative years.
And then
'Cause-
that list will get stuff added to it because
Mhm.
people will remind us like, oh, what about this one? I'm like, oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah,
we don't
like,
even
oh,
have
I
that
can't
on
even-
here. Like
Right.
RoboCop, we recently realized.
I
Why
know,
is that
we're
not
like,
on our
oh,
list?
RoboCop, yeah, for sure.
Oh God.
So
God,
and
RoboCop.
I
Yeah.
know, and like that one's gotten moved around, like, and then we put things on the calendar with.
So yeah, it has to do with like anniversaries. So the range, we don't really have like a year range because we've done nothing newer than what, 2001, 2003, something like that. We won't do anything. We're trying not to do anything where we were fully adults when this came out. It's supposed to be the stuff from adolescence up to, teenager. So we try to stick to that. But that means we go as far back as the 50s.
Right.
Because we grew up with the old movies our parents watched.
Right. That too.
So like we've done Tommy and we've done Darby O'Gill and the Little People and Jaws, like stuff that's older. So we stick to 80s and 90s primarily, but we'll go all the way back as far as if it's a movie that doomed us, then we'll go there.
And then we also, in that same vein, but kind of opposite, have the opportunity to do the ones that didn't, the movies that we didn't
so
see.
for Patreon, because people are always suggesting movies that we're like, I never even saw that. And so we have a list from our patrons of ones we never saw, and they get to vote in a poll every month to find out which one will doom us next. And we do a live watch commentary recording where we sit and react to this first time watch through of some they're always insane, whatever the movie they want.
It's always some wild
like what was it recently, Society and Dead Heat. They're always like body horror, they always want us to watch something. And so it's a lot of us screaming.
It's mostly
going,
them
oh
subjecting
my God!
us to, so like just because it never doomed us before, it's certainly
certainly doing it now.
We've had a really good track record with that so far, the suggestions so far, so that's been fun too. So it's a wide range of stuff that we get to
for sure
choose from. So
is Roadhouse on your list, the original?
So weirdly, as much as we love Patrick Swayze, we both discovered recently that we were just only seen parts of Roadhouse.
I'm pretty sure
I don't know. I've seen it all, but not in order. Like,
maybe not.
Once I think I finally sat through recently and watched it because another podcast did like a watch along thing. Remember, like maybe a year or two ago, and I logged into Amazon and watched it, and that's when I realized, oh my God,
you hadn't seen.
I don't know if I've seen the whole thing
in its entirety.
Yeah.
Well, and that's funny that you mention it because we were just talking about Patrick Swayze today and whether or not to do Ghost,
because that is one we saw. Times, but like,
and we're like,
it's just not on the list.
Yeah, like that, and like the guys coming up from the ground was scary.
Yeah,
to me.
When Whoopi, come on, we're gonna have to. Ghost will probably go on the list, but I don't know about Roadhouse.
I don't know about Roadhouse. I mean, like any excuse to do Patrick Swayze, really.
We love Patrick Swayze, so I don't know if you can see him, but he's on the wall behind us.
I see him.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah, I just bring it up because I recently watched it with my husband. Like we watched the new one, and then after watching it, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen the original one, in its entirety. Like I've seen clips here and there, but not the whole thing. And I was like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, seriously,
it's wild.
I was like, there's so many tits in this movie.
Oh my God.
What is happening?
Like 80s.
It was the 80s.
80s tits.
Oh God. And those high ass like underwear.
Oh yeah.
The French cut.
That's what we call it. The French cut.
But and everybody's like doing high kicks in jeans, are they not?
I know how. Yeah, they're not stretchy. How did you do it?
No,
how, Sam Elliott. How?
I know. And I was like, was Sam Elliott always like 50 years old?
Yeah. Yes, it's true. It's true.
He was always a silver fox, apparently.
Even in Mask, he was it was
already getting gray,
dark,
and that
was like salt and pepper.
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah.
With Cher.
Yeah.
With Cher.
Yeah, I was.
Still looks the same.
Oh, Cher. Yeah, I was like very surprised, and I was like, he's got like almost scary amount of chest hair that he was showing in that movie too. I was just like, holy shit!
That
like
was
I have.
That was
it was like
Tom held in the pheromones.
Oh God,
gross.
Yeah, it was like one extreme or the other. It's like you're either Patrick Swayze with like your, essentially a Ken doll look, or you're like Sam Elliott, where you're just like
bushy.
I'm half wolf, baby.
He had a chest merkin.
Oh,
he did.
He didn't need one.
He just went into like wardrobe and he's like, just slap those on all over the place. Give me all the merkins.
They had Dan Hedaya
like,
There you go, Dan
Hollywood
Hedaya. There you go.
all the Hollywood
God,
chess
he's a hairy
Morgans.
man. We just did First Wives Club, and we're like, Jesus.
Well, no, because I realized that when I was watching Alien Resurrection.
Oh, he's in that?
He's in that.
I know I've seen that, but it's been forever.
And he's wearing like a tank top because he's sleeping, like you
Oh.
know, whatever. He sits up and it's like backlit.
Oh no!
And you can see it's like a forest
on
of
his
like
shoulders.
back and shoulder hair. And I was like, God damn, Dan Hedaya.
He don't need no sweater in the winter time.
Like I said, he's never worn a shirt.
He's his own sweater.
He braids it. He knits it himself.
He's like a walking static electricity if you rub against something with his back hair.
It's over. It's over.
Okay, last question. Do you have a movie that you've covered that is one of your favorites? Like your favorite episodes?
Oh, our favorite episodes. Gosh, there's a few, and they're kind of older ones, weirdly. Yeah. Bram Stoker's Dracula was insanely weird and
nice. Yeah.
Of all the bad accents, and we did our own versions.
Yeah.
We were in our bag that day.
We became freaking the characters at certain points where we're just like into I am Van Helsing, like, and and so that one and it's in our top 10 I think like so. Listened to episodes. So that one did really well, and we had a lot of fun doing that one. Who was Batman, the first Batman, because that's that is one of our favorite movies like from childhood, and it also a good turned out to be a really funny episode.
It was a fun episode, so that one was good.
But again, those are I feel like from our first or second year.
I think they're from our first year. I think I think Batman is when we first started with having
our first research assistant. Yeah.
Having our friend come and
it changed the dynamic because we had a live studio audience, so we got extras.
And
dumb
she's just over there gassing us
up, she's laughing and shit. So we're like, oh, well, she thought that was funny. Let's just keep going on that.
Reactions. So we're all clowning it like all the time, and we feed off of it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, no, those ones from those early days were pretty good.
I'm trying to think if there's anything more recent. I mean, what was the one that I got this year when we started doing the best of clips that I pulled the most?
Oh,
it was one of the first ones we did this year. Crap. We've been trying to pull best of clips for the end of the year so that because we never take breaks. We're like, we need to take freaking breaks.
Right.
So how about we just collect all these best of clips, and in the last week or two of December, we just air best of shows.
Yeah.
And so as we go, we've been collecting clips. And I know there was an episode towards the beginning of the year where we got like 5 clips. I want to say it was like Cabin Boy or something.
It might have been. I don't know. I feel like it was up in there, but I mean, usually when we're listening back to ourselves, like we are our biggest fans. It is ridiculous.
There's only been a couple times where we listened back and didn't like it, and no one will ever hear those. And that was our redo of our very first episode because it was so insane.
Right.
That we were like,
it was so unhinged. We're like, this
gives no information or facts about the film. It gives no behind the scenes or extra info. We forgot all the things we're going to say. So we did it again, like a serious podcast. Like we weren't trying to be serious, but we were taking it way too seriously.
And we never listened to the whole thing. We like snapped it off.
We literally turned it off after 10 minutes, and we're like, this is most boring thing I've ever heard.
We're going with the first one, and we've just been doing it like that.
And so we just do we don't anything, we don't script anything. It's pretty just much what you hear is what happened in the room
is what comes out in the episode. There's very little, if anything, there's no content cut out. It's only
like dog barking
and
stuff like that.
Coughing and whatever, like coughing fits.
Yeah, even the coughing stays in because it's usually one of us coughing from laughing at the other one, and you can't. He'll try to level it down so that the coughing's not so loud. But I'm like, I can't cut that whole part out.
Also comes from like toning down the screaming and the hacking and the cackling and whatever. So
we're still working on mic etiquette after like almost 3 years. We're like, oh yeah, back away from the mic when you do that, dummy.
You can't take us anywhere.
Nope.
I know. Yeah, there have been some times where I've had to like almost turn my chair completely around because I'll be laughing so hard, and I'm like, I don't want to listen to that later and have like blow out my eardrums as I'm listening to myself laugh. But yeah, there have been some times where I've had to just turn around because of something that was said or some joke or something, and I'm just like, oh my god. So yeah, I tend to laugh at myself and my sister while I'm editing and just be like, oh my god, that was hilarious. I can't believe you said that. Whatever it is. And then I'm just like,
it's funnier listening back than it was in the room at the time.
Yes.
It's when you how because we are intoxicated. We'll just put it that way.
Which is
while we're podcasting, and so sometimes we have no recollection of it, and then we listen back and go, "Oh my god!"
Particularly
that
the
was
B-rolls.
so funny because it's all what because a lot of it will stem from one of us mispronouncing a word because we're drunk or whatever, and then that becomes its whole own bit about, oh really, bitch?
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh, is that what
you said? Blah blah
Did you
blah.
mean,
Yeah, and so then that becomes a whole thing on its own. So, and then it's just funny to listen back to.
Yeah.
What was that laugh? I asked myself. I'm trying to recreate that as much as possible. I don't think I've ever laughed like that in my life. That was new. What is that? This is my new laugh for 2024. New year, new laugh. We have a spanking new podcast for your ear holes called Doom Generation.
Available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Later, Doomers.
All right. Well, that is all my questions. Are you guys ready for the slang term?
Let's get these freaking cramp words, baby.
All right. All right. Nicole, you are up first.
Okay.
Your first term is hop the twig.
Hop the twig. Can I have it in a sentence, please?
Yes, you may. A little crowd of small boys followed me all the time. I fancy some of them must have hopped the twig to do so.
Jump the fence?
Hop the twig.
Hop the twig. Not jump the fence. What is that? Hop the twig. I mean, I want to say it's something dirty, but
I know. That's always where my mind
know. Jorking their peanuts. Hop the twig. Oh my god, I'm like totally drawing a blank other than like because my brain is taking it so literally. I'm just like picturing
somebody.
What could it be? Hopping over wood, like
I'm like picturing little gnomes
hopping
twigs,
barbaloot
suits.
Hop the twig. Damn. I don't know. Jump the fence is the only thing that's coming to mind.
So hop the twig means to run away or to bolt.
Oh.
Okay, so it's just taken off.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I guess that could mean that they had to hop a fence before they took off running.
Wonder why about the twig.
And I think another interpretation of this is like they played truant or they played hooky to like.
Okay.
And
so it is
kind of
like they hopped the fence. Kind is probably where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
It means something else. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it to get at you. Those little boys, naughty boys, nasty boys.
Don't mean a thing.
Oh, you nasty. Nasty. All right.
Oh god. I remember listening to that entire album on like repeat all the time when I was younger.
Yes, it was kind of
on
trying
cassette.
to learn the dances.
Oh, absolutely.
Watching all the videos.
Yep.
Oh, I love all the. I would learn all the dance moves.
All the arm, arm choreography.
Yep. And then like you'd be like doing some weird thing with your legs too while you.
Oh yeah, like there's all kinds.
You're like,
of
my
things.
legs don't do that. I'm white, but
I know. Some weird like chicken leg type thing. Yeah.
Right. Oh man, when Rhythm Nation came out, let me just tell you, there were some attempts.
I know.
Being in drill team at the time. Oof. All right.
Okay, Tessa.
Yes.
Your first term is all overish.
All overish. All overish. Can I get that in a sentence?
Yes. This sounds like a Hank Hill. I tell you what, it made me feel quite all overish.
Tell you what.
I tell you what.
I tell you what.
All overish. Is it like? It almost seems like goose pimples. Like if you get or like embarrassed, like you're hot all over, or goose bumps all over. Was it like embarrassed?
It's neither sick nor well, but like the start, like the initial symptoms of being sick.
Like a malaise.
When you are like, am I sick or did I get drunk last night or what is this feeling?
Yeah.
You're all overish.
Okay.
Although another definition of this term is to be sexually or romantically excited. Like I'm all overish.
Goosebumps.
I want to be all overish, you.
You make me all overish. I tell you what.
I tell you what. I tell you what.
What?
So we're doing great so far.
Yes. 0 for 2. Got it.
Killing it. You're killing it.
We're learning.
We are.
You are. Yeah.
We're learning.
So, Nicole, your second term is whipjack.
Whipjack. Can I have it in the sentence, please?
Yes. A mere whipjack, and that is, in the Commonwealth of Rogues, a slave that can talk of sea fight.
Whipjack. Like a whip, not a whippersnapper, but you know what I mean? Like a up. What do they call that when you're like a peon? You're a little, but you're also you're like. Oh God, dang it! Now I'm like trying to think of some other old timey word that's not Victorian that means
like a whippersnapper type of thing.
Yeah, kind of like you think you're too big. You're too big for your britches,
there
or you're a whip snap or a whipjack. I'm making up all new words now.
She's like, nobody said that, Nicole.
You're like you're a little punk.
You're a punk.
Whipjack. Up in my business. Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Okay.
All right. A whipjack is a sham shipwrecked sailor, which could also be called a turnpike sailor or a beggar who pretends to be a sailor. So essentially, like, you think you're hot shit or you're pretending to be something that you aren't.
Okay, so I was kind of there.
So
you were
neighboring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in the neighborhood.
But it was more if I would have
sailor bit
to the sailor part,
exactly.
which I should have been in the sentence. I should have got that it was sailor something.
It was
Sailor Moon,
a little sailorish. Yes,
more nautical in nature.
Yes,
that's me. Nautical by nature. It's my new rap. Naughty by nature, but nautical by nature. We're gonna do all seafaring.
I know
raps.
somebody who had a boat, or at least
a sea shanty.
And that was the name of the boat.
Was nautical by nature.
No, just naughty.
Oh, just naughty by nature.
Like
that. Like KNOTTY. Naughty. Okay.
You or whatever. Yeah. That's fun.
I love it.
I thought that was.
I love a good nautical pun.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like if you're gonna have a boat, you have to. I got stuck.
She's skipped.
You have to have a clever name like that. That involves a pun.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
I'm gonna call, if I ever get a boat, I'm gonna call it a whipjack.
Now you have to.
There you go. Yep.
And then you're like, it's not
like,
really a boat.
What?
It's
I
just
know, I'll be like,
pretending to be
actually. It never goes out to sea.
It's just a floaty. It's like
one
one
of
of
those
those unicorn floaties.
Up at the docks, and we would just party on it. It would be like a party boat.
Because that would be as far as I could go.
Because she gets seasick, so we can't go anywhere.
I found that out recently, that I am not a seafaring people. And I don't belong in the sea. I don't belong there. I don't belong there.
Ugh. All right, Tessa.
Yes.
Your second term is got the chuck.
I know it immediately. My brain.
Chuck.
My brain went somewhere.
All right. I'm going to need that in a sentence.
If you want the good old truth, I've got the chuck.
Ooh, you got the tea. You got the information. You got the down low. You have the real word. You've got the word on the street. Is that it? Is it like the information? You got the gossip. You got the hot goss, the word.
It's an Edwardian term for being fired from a job. Discharged from a position.
Okay.
All right.
That. Yep.
See, now I'm just
the
other way.
Got the boot, got the chuck.
Got the got
and they chucked me.
Straight to like you threw up. Oh, I got the chuck.
I got the chuck.
Oh, I can't come in today. I got the chuck.
I know. That's where I first thought it was when I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds horrible." No. I got the chuck, you guys.
Okay, so if I ever get fired, I can be like,
okay. I mean, it makes sense when you put it that way, but I also thought it meant like, oh, you got that.
Instead of
hot goss.
What they used to call it. What did they call the juicy goose back in Victorian times?
Juicy goose?
You know, the hot goss.
Juice
goose.
I feel like that's
I'm going to look it up.
I feel like that's something else.
Yeah, there's got to be, there has to have been a term for like gossip back then. It was just gossip.
Well, there was that one thing that I saw, that bitch the pot.
Bitch the pot. That's right.
Yes.
So maybe that was it.
As spilling tea. Because I don't think that's what it means, but I think
that's what it sounds like.
To say
because that's right. I think it ended up meaning something else, but that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I like isn't it got the morbs? Isn't that a Victorian one? The morbs.
Yeah, that's for when you're depressed. I got a case of the morbs.
I got the morbs today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a case of the Mondays. I got a case of the Morbs.
They got the Chuck.
Be like, nah, man, I believe you get your ass kicked for saying something like that. Nah.
I know, it's a little skipjack. They were like, you got the
It's
Chuck.
like they called me a skipjack and it gave me the Morbs.
Well, I would like to thank Nicole and Tessa for joining me today for Can You Crack the Cramp-Word? And before we go, can you please tell our listeners where they can find you on social media and when new episodes of your show drop?
You can find us on almost all the social medias. The biggest one for us is Instagram, Doom Generation Pod, because that's where all the movie edits go, and also all the like candid things. So if we're doing something dumb in the studio, or we got a new toy, because we are always buying dumb stuff.
As you can see.
As you can see on the wall behind us. And so Doom Generation Pod on Instagram. We're on Twitter /X, Doom Gen Pod. We're on Facebook, Doom Generation Podcast.
Right.
We're all over the place. And every Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday, midnight.
Well, on that note, as always, I'm Lindsay, and I'll see you next time with another tale as old as crime.